I'm finally getting around to posting my 4-night Bahamas and perfect day at Coco Cay video, a year and a half later. I will not do an extensive ship tour because plenty of others have done exactly that. They've done a fantastic job of it with their own spin on it. Personally, I'm partial to the Hoffmans. I'll leave a link below. What I will show is how and what my daughter-in-law and I enjoyed on this amazing ship, otherwise known as a vlog, I guess, but without my talking face in front of the camera. We decided to fly into Miami the day before our sail date of October 21st, 2019, because the year before we flew in the same day and came way too close to missing the cruise. Here's how that happened. We flew out of Ottawa to Toronto, and that flight was behind schedule by approximately 35 minutes. Now, our time between flights in Toronto was about an hour and a half. And Toronto is where we have to get through the tougher border security to get into the US, which takes a while, so take that into consideration if you're flying in the US through Toronto. Allow a solid hour or more just to get through security. We might have made it by the skin of our teeth if we had no checked luggage, but we had some, so our flight from Toronto to Miami left without us. We then stood in line at the Air Canada customer service desk behind many other anxious and angry passengers. There is no way in hell those customer service reps get paid enough to put up with all that. While in line, I noticed that there were no other flights to Miami until Wednesday. Today was Monday, but I did see a flight to Fort Lauderdale at approximately 10:30 a.m. It was now 8:15. I hoped that there were 2 seats on that flight for us, and when we got to the customer service rep, she was able to get us a couple of seats. We told her we didn't have to sit together, we'll take whatever she's got. She directed our luggage to our new flight, and we then relaxed, knowing that we had just barely, with the help of Air Canada customer service rep, saved our cruise and all the money that we spent on it. We landed in Fort Lauderdale at approximately 1:35 p.m., got our checked luggage, and looked for a taxi that would take us to the Miami cruise port, approximately 45 minutes away. That cost $105 US, and $20 of that was a tip. They take credit cards, but prefer cash, of course. I had limited US dollars in cash, so I paid with my credit card. We walked onto the ship that year at approximately 3:10 p.m., and sail away was at 4:30 p.m. And you have to be on board 1 hour before sail away, so we almost didn't make it. That's why I'm never doing this again. And I will always be mindful of where and which airport I need to go through US Customs and security at. Best scenario, it's in my hometown airport, provided I get there early enough from home, which is easy. But if I have to do that at a stopover airport, then I need to make sure there's at least 3 hours to spare between flights. And as my much better traveled 20-something daughter told me, there's no reason to check luggage for a 4-night cruise. So we're going carry-on only this time. We landed in Miami around 7:30 p.m. and took a taxi to our hotel. Now, I chose the Holiday Inn Port of Miami downtown at 340 Biscayne Boulevard for several reasons. Number one, I come from cold, damp, miserable October northern weather, and I want to take a few hours to walk around. Number two, it's right across the street from Biscayne Bay Marketplace. It's a very touristy, open-air shopping plaza with live music, nice restaurants, available tours, bars, and just a happy, nice vibe. I really enjoyed it. It was perfect. To me, the difference in price between an airport hotel and this one was worth it. At the time, it was about $100 US or so. And anyway, it's just for one night. It also has a 24-hour CVS a couple of blocks away where you can buy, your sunscreen, your shaving gels, your aloe, your conditioner, and anything else you might have forgotten. Turns out I spent about $60 US in that CVS for stuff I would not be able to bring home after because I was traveling carry-on only. So the carry-on only thing is a bit of a toss-up at this point. But I had to try it to judge it, right? The beds were very comfortable. T, my daughter-in-law T, says that she has never slept in a better bed. And without really asking, we were given a view of the bay, so how perfect is that? It also had a shuttle to the cruise port, not included. It was $12 US each. I'll take it. And yes, I will stay there again. The shuttle was a van pulling an enclosed trailer for all the luggage. Tia and I were the only ones in that van going to a Royal Caribbean cruise. The others were going Carnival, but we all were so happy and giddy in anticipation. The rest of the group were all together, and there was friendly banter going on, which, made us smile. And anyway, because of the layout at the cruise port, we were dropped off first, and we wished everyone else in the van a happy cruise, and were handed our luggage by the driver. We had no large luggage to give to the porter at the cruise port, so we just walked right past them with our smaller carry-on luggage and tote bags. We walked into the cruise terminal, and we had, of course, checked in as soon as available in the app. So after going through security, we were immediately directed to up the escalator to the waiting room, where probably a couple thousand others were also waiting. Now, within 10 minutes, they called Pinnacle Club Crown and Anchor Society members and members of the Key program, please make your way to the gangway. We had purchased the Key. First ones on board with Pinnacle Club members. Best thing ever. Pinnacle Club members were probably not amused, but for my daughter-in-law T and I, best thing ever. So here we are, walking up an empty gangway. We have it all to ourselves. The anticipation, the excitement, walking towards the ship is what I think of when I'm at work, grinding to get a paycheck so that I can turn around and hand a lot of it to Royal Caribbean, because their ships are my happy place. It's what I have to look forward to. It's what makes the rest of the year bearable. Now, because we had the Key, our first stop was the main dining room on deck 5, where we dropped off our carry-on luggage. Now, we kept our duffel bag with us with the swimsuit, swim cover, hat, sunglasses, sunscreen, and all that good stuff, because we were headed to the pool deck next. Our carry-on luggage would be dropped off inside our stateroom soon. It was 10:45 a.m. When we got there, the pool deck was empty, and we were able to claim a casita. And then we went to the public washroom to change into our swimsuits, and then we stopped at the Lyman Coconut Bar to get our first onboard drink. We didn't have our SeaPass card yet because it was outside of our stateroom, which was not yet ready. So the bartender simply took down our room number and wrote it down in a log. We were so happy and so grateful to be there. The casita did offer some shade for part of the day, but not that much at that location at that time of year. It did offer a couple of USB charging ports, but it was a very slow charge, just beware. We didn't go to the Chops Grill lunch in the main dining room for Key members because we could not pry ourselves away from the pool deck. Instead, we got tacos from El Loco Fresh. More on that later. Here's the Lyman Coconut Bar. Ship is slowly getting busier. A more dynamic view from our casita. I have to silence the music playing on YouTube. It's Cake by the Ocean. And at the end, that's the soft serve ice cream station. It's served by a crew member, which I really like. We couldn't wait to try those pool loungers, and they were nice, except not terribly stable for heavier people like me. It tends to flip back, so I tried to stabilize myself with my hands, and my fingers got caught under the lounger, and when the bottom part came back down, my entire weight crushed my fingers. It was painfully unpleasant, but did not cause serious injury. Again, beware. One could possibly move it back so that the top piece rests on the side of the pool to help stabilize the lounger. I did not think of this at the time, but it just dawned on me looking at the picture. Or it might just be a question of being aware enough to position one's body weight correctly into the lounger to keep one's feet pointing down rather than straight up. The pools are very salt water, and you just float in them. No effort required. It's great. At 1 p.m., our staterooms were ready for us, and we headed down to Deck 10 to stateroom 1287, where our SeaPass cards were waiting for us in an envelope behind the room number. I punched a hole in my card with a punch I bought on Amazon. You can get a plastic case for it, but on Navigator, you need to insert the end of the card into the door lock of your stateroom. So you'd be continuously putting it in the plastic and taking it out. So here's what it looks like. It shows that I have the deluxe beverage package, stateroom number without the deck number, so that if you lose your card, it won't be that easy for someone who finds it to find your room and open the door. My account number, which is a random number that Royal Caribbean's choosing. It's not the reservation number. Every passenger needs an account number to charge to, and there are more than one passenger per reservation. It shows that I have my time dining on deck 3, main dining room. It shows my muster station. It shows I'm a key member, and shows which day I need to reluctantly get off the ship. Stateroom 1287 is an interior stateroom with virtual balcony. Loved it. For a 4-night cruise, it's not that much more than a standard interior cabin, so I decided to splurge a bit and give it a try. Bathroom is typical, clean, functional, round shower with doors, has hair and body wash, which I tried to use for shampoo because carry-on only. Would not do it again. It's harsh on longer hair, needs tons of conditioner. Adjustable, detachable shower head and retractable clothesline. Here we bought the foaming hand soap at CVS. I like that better than a slippery, gooey bar of soap. Here's the virtual balcony, an almost floor-to-ceiling screen flanked with curtains on each side, streaming live video from outside the ship. Beds are more on the firm end of the spectrum, but if you want, you can ask for a topper from your stateroom attendant. Peach-flavored Fanta, raspberry-flavored Sprite, bring it. Navigator has 4 of those machines, 2 in the Windjammer buffet, 1 on each side, and 2 are on deck 5 in the Royal Promenade next to Cafe Promenade. You can also fill your water bottle with water and ice at no charge at those stations. Here's our muster station, back when we had to gather, get our CPAS scanned, and listen to the instructions in case of emergency. A lot of people complained about them. I didn't. I'd rather be on a ship at muster than not on a ship. And I was happy and intoxicated by then. But I haven't cruised that much yet. Now it's apparently all done virtually. The view while we waited for everyone to show up at the muster station. And then Carnival of Victory set sail before we did. Here's a nice area to take pictures next to the Lyman Coconut Bar on the starboard side, which is the right side, facing forward. Here's the Lyman Coconut Bar drink menu. Pause if you need longer to look at it. My favorite was the rum runner. Now, rum-based cocktails did not seem to give me a headache the way vodka-based ones did, but I still need more data to confirm. And we're off, slowly. Goodbye, Miami. See you in 4 days. Let's talk about the key. If you normally book a suite above Junior Suite, or if you're a Diamond Plus level Crown and Anchor member or above, the key might not be worth it for you. Probably isn't worth it for you, but for me, a barely gold member who mostly books interior rooms, it's worth it. The most important perk for me is the Vroom Surf and Stream package for one device, the Wi-Fi. Then there's the boarding day Chops Grill lunch in the main dining room. Chops Grill is an upcharge restaurant, and like I mentioned before, we could not pry ourselves away from the pool deck and our casita to get dressed up and go to the main dining room, so we didn't go. Perk number 3 is you can be the first ones off the ship in port. However, our ports were Nassau and Coco Cay. Not a problem to get off the ships there, so no lineups. Perk number 4 is you get special seats assigned in the theater and Studio B for the shows. We saw where those were in Studio B and decided to just sit somewhere else. Of course, you need to get there early enough to do that. In the theater, we didn't see where they were and just sat where we wanted. Perk number 5 is the a la carte breakfast on the last morning between 6:30 and 9 a.m. and we missed it because we woke up at 8:30 a.m. and by the time we were showered, dressed, and ready to go, it was almost 10 a.m. Perk number 6, the second most important perk, was early boarding. As mentioned before, we boarded with the Pinnacle members, and it was great. Perk number 7, the third most important perk for me, was the private hours schedule for ship activities. Exclusive access to the water slides, flow rider, laser tag, rock wall, and ice skating. On day 2, when in Nassau, we had the water slides to ourselves for 30 minutes between 10 and 10:30 a.m. It was so nice. We went up and down and up and down. Had to rest when I made it up the stairs to catch my breath because it's a good amount of stairs. And finally, the fourth most important perk for me was dropping off our carry-on luggage at the main dining room so we didn't have to lug it around with us until our stateroom was ready. So I used 4 of the perks out of 8, and it was worth it for me. I'll buy the key again. Our cruise director was Hugo. Hugo was also the cruise director on our Mariner 4-night cruise the year before. That first night, we went to the main dining room because we were booked a time immediately when we got on board. So we went in, got dressed, and headed to our table. We shared it with probably 8 other people. It was a large table next to a window. I'm not that sociable, and small talk is difficult, but we sat with nice people, and we mostly listened to the conversations without getting too involved. Now, the food in the main dining room is definitely better than the buffet. I'd forgotten that. Here's the menu in the main dining room that first night. Pause if you need to. I had the crab cakes for starters, the prime rib medium rare for main course, and the royal cheesecake for dessert. That was a very nice and delicious dinner. It took a little more than an hour, I'd say. After dinner, we went to see the ice skating show in Studio B on Deck 3. It was called Ice Skate Reach for the Stars. An excellent show that was complimentary. It was so good. It was spectacular. I did not take any footage of it because it's not allowed, and video doesn't do it justice anyway. We went for a walk around the ship, exploring the Royal Promenade and the promenade deck. And then we went to see a comedian in the Royal Theatre. We didn't stay till the end because he wasn't funny to us. He was to others, and that's just a matter of taste and sense of humor. I'm pretty sure my sense of humor has evolved or devolved since I get older. It's definitely changed. For example, I don't find meanness funny anymore.